That's a big box. Hello and welcome. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video from my usual forte of dumpster dives because I paid money for this. I put my own money in the ring for this video. And I'm also hoping that my heater kicks in because I can still see my breath occasionally. So we'll see how this works. Question is, what the heck's going on? Well, I'm sure you've seen the title of the video. We're building a very budget-oriented gaming PC that anyone can build even today. So let's get this unboxed real quick. I stumbled across this completely on accident, and then I did a little bit more research because of how interesting it was. And yeah, this is just... Wow, I gotta stop dropping things on this glass table. This is awesome. Oh, what's in this box? This is a Dell Precision. Wow, that is packaged unusually well. Is there a Dell Precision in this box? Why is there so much packaging? I'm suddenly very concerned. I see a case. Wow, they spent more on shipping than I paid for the machine, it would seem. These self-filling foam things are not super cheap. So, anyway. Wow. Jeez. There it is. Hey! We got a power cable too. That's awesome. I did not expect that for this price. And what price is that, you might ask? $120 for this fine piece of computing engineering with lots of scuffs and scratches, but you know what, that's okay. Those don't affect the performance of the PC. So let's go ahead. Wow. Okay. All seriousness. Why is this a good deal? Well, the Precision 3630 is what we've picked up for 120 bucks plus $30 shipping. And, well, this is a standard machine. This uses effectively off-the-shelf components. The wind is picking up and it's blowing my garage door around. One moment. Where was I? Wow, there's a black X on the top here. I don't like that. Anyway, this is a completely, in theory, bog standard micro ATX motherboard, standard ATX power supply, standard components, nothing proprietary. That is important because we want to upgrade this machine. 120 bucks does not get you a gaming machine. It gets you a base. It gets you a core. Now, what's in that core? In theory, an i5 8600. That is 6 cores, 6 threads, fairly decent i5 8th gen. And this machine supports 9th gen. But that's not where we're just going to stop, of course. Let's pop this open real quick. I have not... How do I pop it open? Oh, there we go. Okay. So we've got enough room for a fairly sizable graphics card, which is good. You know what? Let's get you a little closer so you can actually see what I'm doing here. So here's our machine. I can't help but notice that despite the fact that there are 3 hard drive bays, we didn't actually get the hard drive sleds that we were promised. That doesn't really matter for us. I need to get this off because we're not going to be installing a hard drive. So this appears to need to come off in order to get the rest out, maybe? I'm confused at how this thing works. Does this Oh, well, that's strange. It pivots this way. Okay. So here's what we've got. We have our pretty basic cooler, which kind of seems like it would get choked up by this power supply, but maybe not. This should be 8 gigs of DDR4. That it is. Now this is standard DDR4. We're going to be replacing this quite shortly. I'm not sure what that socket is right there, some sort of ZIF socket. And here, of course, is our PCI Express. But of course, our power supply is pretty limited. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a graphics card in here, replace this power supply, and of course, install an SSD, hopefully, into this M.2 slot. Now my question is that M.2 SATA or NVMe? I don't know. I'm hoping it's SATA because I don't actually have an NVMe SSD. And if it were NVMe, that would throw off my calculations. So let's just... this is just a strange way of doing this. Anyway, let's go ahead and get all this unplugged, and let's look at our power supply. Okay, here we go. We have our power supply that came out, and this does indeed look pretty bog standard ATX. In fact, we could reuse this in another system. What's the wattage on this? I'm going to guess 300. Wow, that is real tiny text. Correct. 300 watts. Now, if you really wanted to ball on a budget, you could keep this power supply and just install like a 1050 Ti, maybe a 1650, something that doesn't require an external power connector. Even an RX 6400. Very good graphics card. I had one for a while. But that's not what we're doing. Now, I found on eBay several 600 watt power supplies for around, what did I write down here? 25 bucks. They are not Thermaltake Smart Powers, but, well, I'm on a budget. So we're just going to use this one that we already have. Now, this gives us a lot of options as far as what we can upgrade the system to. Not just in graphics card, but we could add a ton of peripherals if we really wanted to. And in fact, we could even change the case if we so desired. Again, it's all standard micro ATX. So let's go ahead, another power cable. Let's go ahead and get this installed. Now I had to double check. Yes, we can install the power supply like this because we have this nice extra vent allowing the power supply to breathe. That is slightly important. If we had to install it this way, it would get choked up, and I don't think we could do that. So once more, completely standard parts. We can throw this in. Look at that. It just fits, and the screw holes line up. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, power supply is in. Doesn't really take much to install, even though the cable management's going to be very strange in the end here, I think. Now, it only came with 1 stick of RAM, but that's not the end of the world, because what we can do is just add another. I found a second stick of RAM on eBay for 18 bucks. That's 8 gigs DDR4. This is not the one I found. This is one I had lying around because, again, money's kind of tight for me, much like the rest of you. So since I had it, I noted the price, but didn't buy it. Now let's go ahead and... Which slot did this come out of? Uh-oh. I think it was this one. This is... We're going to populate slots 1 and 2 first. I assume that's what we're supposed to do. Now these are not the same speed, but it really shouldn't matter. It should run in dual channel at the speed of the slowest stick, especially since we're not going to be doing XMP. We're just going to run it stock DDR4 JDAC. So, 16 gigs of RAM, 6-core i5, upgraded power supply. What about the graphics card? Well, lucky you, we have a ton of options. We're going for the cheapest one and the most power hungry, but you know, it happens. Let me fetch it real quick. This might not fit, actually. This might fit. Oh, it's a tight fit for sure. But you know what? We're going to try it anyway. This is an R9 290X. Why am I choosing a card this old? Hey, it fits, and it looks like we might even clear it. Let's try. Pull the excess of this. No, we don't fit. We come close. Let's get this back up. This is still a valid option. They make ones that are shorter than this. We just happen to have a very tall one. So, I mean, we could always just... Oh no, it's stuck. we could always just run this with the side panel open, but I don't think we're going to do that. This is a $35 card on eBay right now, and it has 4 gigs of VRAM. Still quite a capable card, in fact. Now, we are going to go with our second option, since that one is very clearly not going to work. Instead, we have this. This is a 4 gig RX 480. You can pick these up for a fairly similar price, 45 to 50 bucks, if you're lucky. And this should definitely fit. Oh yeah, like a glove. Okay, so we have most of our upgrades ready to go. We're actually going to take this back out because I have some housekeeping to do. We need to get this off because we are going to replace the thermal paste. Luckily, this is a fairly new system, so I don't think we need to change the CMOS battery, but you never know. We will find out. And obviously, we need to put our SSD in. Speaking of, you can get a 500 gig SSD for, again, about $18, same as that stick of RAM, if you're willing to go SATA. You're not going to get NVMe for that kind of speed. Now, a 2.5-inch SATA drive, perfectly fine. In fact, this system came with a SATA cable, so that would work just fine for us. Why is this not releasing? There we go. Yeah, that thermal paste was dust. What I'm getting at is it doesn't matter what you put in as long as it is an SSD. You're not going to want to boot off of a hard drive for this machine. You're just not going to have a good time if you try that. Let's see. Oh, I got some camera lens cloth. Actually, you know what? This is probably dirty. And perhaps more importantly, we can check and see if we actually got what we were supposed to get. i5 8600. Did I say 8600? I thought, for some reason I had 8400 on my brain, but you know, I'll take it 8600. This also throws off my calculations for later, but you know what? I'll fix them on the fly. So, we have our i5 8600. Wow, this thermal paste is just crusty. Doesn't want to come off. Oh, it really doesn't want to come off. I have to scrape this off. Oh my god. Okay. Well, that was strange. Thermal paste has been scraped. Now, where's my replacement thermal paste? I'm always losing this. Okay, let's go ahead and get this put on. Nice and gooped up there. We're actually going to be replacing this later for a different version of this build. But I do want this one to survive. At least a little bit. Okay. I don't think that sticking a SATA M.2 drive into an NVMe slot will kill it, so we should be good to at least try. Why is this screw non-ferrous? Why? Who does that? And with that, we have most of a system now. So let's go ahead and put it together for the last time and see what we can do with this machine. Now, some of you might be asking what the total price on this is. Now, since we couldn't throw the R9 290X in there, it does throw off our calculations a little tiny bit, but not enough to matter. Ooh, that's squeaky. Get our graphics card plugged in. Now, luckily, Dell kind of expected people to do this. Oh, that's not lined up. So they've actually left some provisions, like a nice cable routing cutout right here. And we can just stuff everything else in the hard drive bay that we're not using. It's going to all go down there, next to the SATA cable that I'm forgetting to take out. And it looks to me like this is actually a hold down for the cables. That's kind of cool. Well, I think I knocked these on the ground, so we're just going to go ahead and use other screws. Don't lose your screws like I do. Either way, we should be good to close this back up. And there you have it. Let's see if it works. Okay, let's see what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and put Windows 10 on here just because it's easy. You could put Windows 11 on this easy. Let's see, the system memory's fan. Oh, I forgot to plug the CPU fan back in. One moment. Whoopsies. Let's fix that. Luckily, this is pretty easy to work on. You just get those two. And that slides out of the way. Pulls our graphics card out of the slot. That's cool. CPU fan plugged back in. Graphics card plugged back in. There's that. And there's that. Okay. Take two, maybe? Let's see. I know the system memory has changed. That CPU fan sucks. Wow, that is awful. We might have to change that. Oh, that's right, I had Mint on this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and install Windows 10 from our iOD ST300 real quick. Once 10's installed, I will load it up full of games, we'll get the drivers installed, and we will see what it can do. Well, surprise. I had so many problems getting Windows 10 to install. I tried so many things. I tried Windows 10. I tried Windows 10 IoT. I tried Windows Server 2019. I tried... I just can't get it to install. It really does not like that drive. Now, what I need to do is I need to reformat the drive and then try to reinstall Windows. But I got so mad that I just decided, you know what? Linux is fine. You know, I've been running Linux on my personal machine. I've had no issues whatsoever with gaming. And with the debacle of Windows 11, a lot of people are switching to Linux instead of upgrading. So we have Linux Mint. Now, of course, I've already updated all the drivers. I've, well, installed a few games for us to test out. Let's see what we can do. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, first things first. We've got Mech Warrior 5. Sure. Doesn't really matter what I choose. I just want to test out the performance. Ooh, I got cord in this one. Now we are on a mix of medium to high settings. And I'm seeing anywhere from 75 to 120 frames per second just in here, of course. There's a lot more that's going to happen. We need to see how this thing performs when we've actually got stuff going on the screen. Well, sitting steady at about 125 frames per second. Not bad. Now let me slowly make my way to the mission objective, and we'll see how this performs when there's a lot of explosions on the screen. We're still seeing over 90 FPS, even with all this stuff going on. There we go. I think I saw like an 80. Yeah, this performs just fine. Oh, that's strange. If I zoom in, I get 100 FPS. I zoom out, I get 140. Must be LOD for the buildings there, just popping in. Oh, I'm sorry. We're on just straight up high graphics. I thought we were on a mix. Okay, so here we have Risk of Rain 2 at ultra settings. We're at 1080p. And I've unlimited the frame rate. Let's try the engineer, yeah. Oh, oh, we're seeing quite a bit of... Yeah, this is great. Now, of course, the reason that we're testing this is to test something that doesn't truly officially support Linux. But, I mean, we're seeing 250 frames per second. This is fine. This is running great. I haven't seen the frame rate dip below 200 yet. I'm pretty positive that this is going to be a pretty flawless experience. Well, now that we know we can get several hundred FPS in Risk of Rain 2, let's move on to the next game. When the hell did 7 Days to Die get tied to an online Epic Games account? I don't like that. I don't usually play this on mouse and keyboard. I usually do a controller, and I forgot to bring it down here, so we're going to have to just make do, I suppose. I don't even know what the buttons are. There we go. Oh, does enter not do select? Huh. Now, of course, this game will be locked to 60 frames per second. There's not much we can do about that. We can, I think, shift. Control is parry. Space. Okay. Oh, hello there. I'd really like to know what the heavy attack button is. There's some really weird camera movements going on here. And I think it's because I'm on a mouse and keyboard. It's not because we're on Linux. Huh. Oh, that's not the run again. Yeah, this is locked at 60 frames per second, but we're going to charge the boss real quick, because if there's anything that'll drop it below 60, it's going to be the boss's transformation phase because it's got a lot of particle effects. And Dark Souls is a very, very poorly optimized game. I'd much prefer to have my controller, but let's see what we get. How do I use my Estus? I don't know what the use button is for my toolbar. Transform. There we go. Now we're good, locked at 60. That'll do it. And with that, let's move on to the next phase of this video. So let's talk about this computer as it is, as it currently sits. Got my little price sheet here. The PC itself, the tower, CPU, one of those sticks of RAM, that was $120 plus $35 shipping. The graphics card, which unfortunately we couldn't use the R9 290, was, I'm seeing these for $40 reliably. You can get them for $35, but $40's the buy it now price. SSD was $18, power supply was $25. So with that, we are looking at no, that was the previous price before the graphics card change. $203 before shipping. That's pretty good. I mean, after shipping, you're looking at $238 because I paid $35 shipping for the actual PC itself. That's great. So the thing is, we're going to target 2 price points because this isn't that expensive. I mean, after shipping, we're looking at like $230. That's nothing. So we're going to make a few select upgrades and see what we can do. Why don't you get a little closer? There are 2, get out of here, key upgrades that we can do. 2 humongous ones that'll get us the most bang for our buck. Now the first one is going to be our graphics card. So let's get that unplugged. And then we'll get the whole thing out of here. Come on. There we go. Now before I put the new graphics card in and reveal what it is, we have to take that CPU out, because that's technically our second upgrade. You see, this system is compatible, this wonderful Dell Precision, and I just realized the CPU cooler is kind of dirty, so while it's out, I think I'm going to blow that out real quick, get rid of some of that dirt and dust. But the Dell Precision is also compatible with Xeon CPUs. Now, for the 8th and 9th generation of Intel CPUs, consumer CPUs did not get hyperthreading. The i3 was 4 cores, 4 threads. The i5 was 6 cores, 6 threads. And the i7 was 8 cores, 8 threads. You had to go with an i9 or Xeon if you wanted hyperthreading, and even with the i9 you had to go for the real hefty boy. 9900X, I think, had hyperthreading. Could be wrong. So let's clean this off real quick. Mostly because I don't want it getting everywhere. So naturally, I immediately get it on my fingers. So let's go ahead and grab this out of here. Now the i5 8600, which is what we've got, this sells on eBay for what seems to be an average of about $55. That's not really that bad considering our upgraded CPU has 6 cores, 12 threads at roughly the same clock speed, only costs $65. So for $10 more, you can have this, and you can just sell this to get the difference. So we're going to set that aside. pop our new CPU in there. That is a very dirty machine. A little bit of paste. Now this time I swear I'm going to remember to reconnect the CPU fan. I promise. What do you mean you don't believe me? You can get a 1070 Ti for about 80 bucks on eBay if you go buy it now. You can get them a lot cheaper if you do an auction. But most of what I'm basing my prices off of are buy it now prices, because anyone can get those. Not everybody has the time or the luck to win an auction. So let's pop this 1070 Ti open. I haven't actually opened this yet. This was sent in by a very, very good friend of the channel. I really appreciate you. You know who you are. And this is gonna... that's gonna get a lot of good use on this channel. So, also the fact that it's a blower card is actually kind of good, because this case doesn't have a lot of airflow, so having this serve as a second exhaust actually kind of works in our benefit. Still got the PCI condom on there. Okay, so this will go right... Oh, that is a long boy. Right in there. Now, first things first, we do have a third upgrade planned. But I need to verify that this PC is still posting before we try that. So let's grab our HDMI cable real quick. Sometimes I'm very glad that this thing's like 5 miles long. Grab our power cable. Now I'm watching the TV. So let's see if this thing is still happy. Yep, that's on. You can't see it, but we have a screen. So we are good to go. Oh my God. Oh, what did I just say that I wasn't gonna do? I forgot to plug in the CPU fan. Why didn't you tell me? Come on. All right, so here's the secret to this upgrade. You see, the Xeon is compatible with ECC memory. And as I stall and look around for wherever the heck I put it, I purchased some ECC memory. And I got it real cheap. Okay, this is where this video has to take a sudden turn. You see, I messed up. I ordered the wrong type of RAM. Not that I entirely blame myself. You see, the Dell official documentation says it supports ECC DDR4. That's all it says. Just ECC DDR4. So I bought ECC DDR4, only to find out that it does not in fact support all ECC, even with the Xeon. It supports unregistered DDR4, not registered DDR4. So we're actually here. It's about a week later after I attempted to record this video the first time. Now, again, up to this point, everything's good, but there's more. Prices have changed as well. So the GTX 1070 Ti, which you could get all day, every day for about 80 bucks, is now a $100 card. Oh. Luckily, the RX 480 is still the same price, so nothing's changed there. So this computer, which well, this version of it at least, which was $283, is now $303. I still think it's a pretty good deal, even at 300 bucks, but your mileage may vary, and I guess keep that in mind. Also, DDR4 is shooting through the roof, so although my prices are still obtainable, because we're only getting 8 gig sticks, I don't know if that's going to stay. So, luckily, there are versions of this PC that come with 16 gigs of RAM, as we'll see in just a moment, because once I got one, I couldn't help myself. I bought 4. I'll explain that in later videos, but for now, we have, technically, another unboxing to do. We're going to start with this bag because it looks easy. Who sent this? I don't know who sent this. It's direct from Amazon. That is... well, that was weird. Okay. There seems to be some road ragers outside. Ooh. This is a lot of zip. Are they done? This is a lot of zip ties. This is 1,000 zip ties. I see you all want me to start doing cable management. All right, all right. I appreciate it. I do. Next is some stuff that I bought for the channel. We have I think this is a Q9550. Yes, this is a Q9550, a Core 2 quad. This I have plans for. Remember this PC? This is that DVR that we turned into a gaming PC. I am so convinced that even with 20-year-old hardware that you can get pretty decent performance. I'm going to make that my daily driver. We're going to upgrade the snot out of it first. We're going to put a Q9550 in there. And I got some RAM. We're going to put 8 gigs of RAM with this Core 2 quad. And maybe a 1070 Ti because, well, I've got it. I might as well use it. So let me set these aside real quick. This is very interesting and a kind of a stupid story. So this is a bunch of RAM from a variety of sellers. We have a whole bunch of 2 gig sticks of DDR2. That is very important with how many old PCs I have to deal with. Next, we have 18 sticks of DDR3. These are 4 gig ECC sticks, non-registered, which will be important in our next video. One of those sticks shipped broken, and I attempted to repair it. A small, I think that's a tiny little capacitor, had broken off, so I soldered it back on. Now this stick of RAM is like $4, so it's not exactly a terrible loss if it does end up just not working, but I kind of want to see if we got it fixed. If you want to see that video, it's on my Patreon, linked down below. We also picked up 8 gigs of DDR4. This is ECC non-registered for that, for that Dell. So we will look at this in the future. I just want to verify that Dell's not just lying out their butts, and I want to test ECC. Next, we have something that I need to open. Yeah, that looks sharp. I think I know what this is, mostly because it's coming from Rock Auto. And the Discord, which has not been officially released yet, but will be released to the Patreon quite soon. I think this came from Adam. Thank you, Adam. This is, if it is what I think it is, huge. Yes, it is. Okay. What is this? That's the order number. Okay. So what we have here is an alternator. Why is this huge? If I can even get it out of the box. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a sticker. It's a magnet. There we go. So this is an alternator that fits roughly a 1992, I think, Pontiac Grand Prix with the 3.1 liter V6. That's important because I bought one, not the car, the engine, and I need a few parts to finish it. That engine is going to be swapped into our 1987 Pontiac Sunbird, hopefully this year. Just kind of need it to stop being 20 degrees outside. And in here, it's still pretty cold, even with my heater. And Adam, thank you, sincerely. This is huge. At this point, all I really need is the computer, fuel pump, and maybe some wiring. So we'll figure that out, though. Next, we have a few more things that I purchased. Now, one of my friends in Boone tipped me off to another friend, mutual friend, well, mutual now, I should say, who was selling some of his old parts. We have a 990FX board with an AMD FX 8350. That's an 8-core CPU, and I only paid, well, actually, where's the rest? Did it slide out my car? Oh, it must be in my car. Well, it came with like 6 sticks of RAM. This is, I think these are 4 gig DDR3. Let me double check. Yes. And this G-Skill Ripjaw, he also included 2 more pairs of 2. And I think they slid off of this while they were in my passenger footwell, and they're probably sitting right there on the ground. So I will grab those in just a minute. He also included his, what appears to be a 240 radiator. So super awesome there. Still with the mount for this. And 2 500 gig Samsung 850 EVOs. He did want me to try and save some of his data off of these before I wiped them, but these should be perfectly working SSDs. That is huge because I just don't have any SSDs right now. So we're going to go ahead and set this aside and talk about some more donations. This is a, well, it's a DisplayPort cable that my friend Nick gave me. That is actually pretty huge. The amount of times that I'm dealing with graphics cards that only have DisplayPort output is kind of surprising, and this is the first time that I'm going to be able to actually do something about it. Granted, I do have some adapters from DisplayPort to X other output, but native DisplayPort is a lot nicer. Next, he also gave us a whole bunch of CDs, most importantly with SpinRite, which I have not tried yet, but supposedly this can help fix some hard drive issues, which we have come across in the past. Then, of course, there's various Windows installers and things like that. Very useful, and actually it comes in a pretty swanky CD case, so thank you very much, Nick. He also donated some assorted USB cables, a bunch of screws, which is actually super useful. I go through too many of these, especially the case screws, and SATA cables. Super awesome. I go through these like candy. Whew. But that's not all. Of course, he gave us this fancy monitor as well, which has become stuck to my table. That's cool. Did I mention it's cold still? It hasn't actually warmed up over the last week at all. Oh dear. But of course there's more. I just need to go to my mailbox. Alright, I need to make sure that I don't, of course, give away my address. So, we're going to open this one first, because I want this one the most. Wow, this is very strangely packaged. What is going on here? I need like a knife or something. This is not working super great. Okay, that's surprisingly difficult to open, but I think packing peanuts. I hate packing peanuts. Oh, yeah, that's why I hate them. Come on. Let's not get everywhere. Okay, here's one. We'll address that in a sec. Oh. What did you do to the socket, my dude? Oh, no. What? What the heck? Oh, fuck. They're getting everywhere. Ugh. Okay, well that should be everything in there, so I'm going to carefully toss that away. I bought 2 of those Dell Precision 3630 motherboards because, again, completely standard. I can put that in any case and have a 9th gen motherboard. That really should be everything that's in there, so we're going to toss this before those get everywhere. They're still going to get everywhere. I hate packing peanuts. Those motherboards were $20 a piece. That is dirt cheap for a 9th gen motherboard. Now, how am I supposed to open this? Try and keep my address covered. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's one way to ship some RAM. This is 8 gigs of DDR3 ECC, unregistered, for another test. Don't need that anymore. I don't remember what's in these, so let's open them. Kind of a silly way to ship these. What is this? This is a 4x4 gig kit of ECC DDR3. Okay. This probably came from the same seller. This is a 7x4 gig kit of ECC DDR3. I am stocking up. Let's just say I have DDR3 era plans that require unregistered ECC DDR3. Wow. This is the slot cover for one of those 3630 PCIe slots. This is the most flimsy I think I've ever seen. Wow. Anyway, there's still more. You think that was it? No, I have saved what I think is the best for last. 2 things. First, let's have a look at this. Now, this was from... Who was this? This was from Elmist from our Patreon. I appreciate you. I really do. Now, let's see. That's just a blank piece of paper. Oh, are these side cutting pliers? They appear to be. Yes! Hey, these are good too. Oh my goodness. Okay. These are going to be really useful. Is it 2 of them? They do wear out fairly fast. Yes! Hey! No, seriously, these are going to be super useful. I have a lot of soldering coming up very quickly here, and side cutting pliers, especially decent ones, are super useful, and they wear out fast. Especially when you use them the way I use them, which is wrong. So, thank you. That is super good. Next, we have HDMI cables, maybe? Oh, well, it's open. Oh, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 HDMI cables. Hey! No, this is good. I don't know if I mentioned it in this exact video or if I mentioned it in a different video, but the HDMI cable that I'm using is like 50 feet long. I inherited it from Radio Shack when they fired me. I was the fix-it here technician. I was trained on iPhones 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the iPads 1, 2, 3, and the iPad Air 1 and 2. And when they got rid of my position after the Sprint acquisition, or partnership, or whatever you want to call that, well, they just let me go, which sucked because I really liked working on phones. And when they let me go, they also were mandated to get rid of all of their display stuff. So I got a really long power strip. I got the 50-foot HDMI cable and a couple of really long power cables as well when they threw them all out. So these are going to help a lot, because having 50 feet of super thick HDMI coiled up is not exactly optimal. So this is actually really good. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't think I can express how good this actually is. Thank you. Whew. Next, we have an open box and a similar looking unopened box. I think that's it. Another... Oh, this is the... Oh, that's the price. Oh my god. How much did you pay? Oh, I feel bad now. Thank you, though. Oh, I'm not gonna say nothing about how much these cost. But these are SSDs. Oh my goodness. I assume this to be exactly the same. This is just 5 more. Yes. This is 10 256 gig SSDs. That is... You got a really good price on these. But, wow. This is one of the best things that's been sent into this channel, at least as of late. I mean, we've got 6 from Augie, and now we've got 10 from you, and I purchased a couple myself, the 500 gig Samsung ones. For the first time in a long time, I think we're set on SSDs. At least for a hot minute. Thank you so much. Oh my god. That is huge. Unfortunately, I have blocked my SSD drawer. So these are going to go right back inside here until I can unblock it. But that's still not all. Our friend Nick, he donated an iMac. It's my understanding that this is the 2014 iMac. It does not tell me what it's got on top of here, but I do know that he told me it has a 1 terabyte SSD. It has a 4th gen i5 and 8 gigs of RAM. Ooh, this has Thunderbolt ports. Hey, we can finally test that Thunderbolt display that we've got. Oh. I know someone sent in another iMac, but I just haven't had time to get to them. I really want to. Maybe it's time I do an iMac video where we look at like 3 different iMacs. I think that'd be cool. So, this is not going to live on the ground. I'm just putting it down here temporarily to get it out of my way. It will live off of the water zone. I just need to get... There we go. Okay. You can go down here for the moment. Oh boy, now what do I do? Let's bring both of the precisions up. Okay. This is the precision that we've been using for the duration of this video. This is a competing precision. I got this for about $155 with free shipping, and it came with an i5 9600 and 16 gigs of RAM, just no storage. The only problem is, and I didn't realize this, it doesn't have a side panel, so not ideal. Good news is, again, it's fully compatible with any one of these cases. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to gut this after I've done my duty and, upgraded it, and stuff it in one of those real old cases. Maybe this one. We'll see. Oh, this has been a really rough video to try and make. I do apologize for the sudden swivel, but sometimes these things happen. The good news is I was able to salvage the game testing, because even though we're stuck with 16 gigs of non-ECC, that's not bad. And you can still get a further 16 gigs for $40 to $50. So let's call it $350 for 32 gigs of RAM in this thing, and I think you'd be very, very happy. Let's roll the game testing. Okay. I've had a couple of small issues that, luckily, I was able to figure out. Now, first things first, when you're using a 1070 or really any GTX 10 series or 16 series with Linux Mint, when you go to your driver manager, oh, well, I'm offline. When you go to your driver manager, it's going to tell you that the 535 driver is recommended. Do not use it. Additionally, do not go back to the 470 driver. Do not use that one either. What you want to do is the 570 driver or 580. There is a bug in both of the older drivers that causes Steam games to not launch. And now, we're finally ready to play a game. About 150 to 160 in the hangar here. But if you have an NVIDIA card, you can also use programs such as DaVinci Resolve. Under Linux, DaVinci Resolve does not work with AMD cards or Intel cards. It's only NVIDIA. Anyway, we're sitting comfortably at about basically the same performance as our last card, which tells me we don't have a game that's optimized for NVIDIA, but that's fine. We're still seeing 125 frames per second. Ooh, you know what? There's a question. Yeah, our graphics are still at the exact same settings. Okay. Let's slowly march our way up to that settlement. Now, I will say one quick thing. The smearing that you might be noticing, that's all in the TV. It's very, very cold in here, and these old LCD screens do not like to be cold. It literally reduces their response times internally for the crystals to actually change. I don't know all the science, but it's interesting. We didn't even drop into the double digits there, I think. So we are getting better performance compared to the AMD card. Not humongously better, but measurably better. And with that, I think it's time for us to move on to a different game. And here we are with Risk of Rain 2. Just gonna jump right back in real quick. Oh, well, that's a big difference. Oh, last time we were averaging like, oh, it's back down to what we had last time. Now, this is a slightly different part of the map, but we were seeing 400. Yeah, this works pretty good. I wouldn't say it's any better or worse than the RX 480. But, you know, it's a thing. The difference is probably just the area that we're in. We're still not really seeing any drops below like 170 frames per second, so not bad at all. Of course, now it's time for Dark Souls 3. I am not expecting this to perform any better. Again, it's locked to 60, but maybe we'll get fewer drops. I really should have grabbed my controller. Ooh, item. I don't need it, but I want it. How did you miss? So far, it's just been a steady 60. I can't do anything. My studio light is shining in my corner there. So I don't actually know how much health I have. There we go. Yeah, no drops at all. That was a solid 60. Oh, I guess I had no health. Okay. Well, either way, I think that's a pretty good example of the performance that we're going to get with this machine. And with that, I mean, I'm very happy with this machine. Both the $200 version and the $250 with the RX or whatever it came out to. I do not remember. It's been a week since I recorded that. I'm very, very happy with this. All versions of it. And dare I say, you can still get these. The price on these machines has not gone up. I'm seeing some for like 69 bucks. Fully featured, just no OS drive. Unfortunately, those ones also have like $50 shipping. So let's call it 120 bucks. I'm seeing them all day, every day for that price between 150 and 120 and 150. So I think that this is a great PC to pick up if you're just really desperate for a newer-ish PC, especially if you want to run Windows 11. These will run Windows 11 natively. No fuckery needed with Rufus. And with that, hey, it's time to do the roll. Thank you very, very much for my Patreon members. You helped a lot more than you realize with this video. A lot of the extra stuff that I needed to purchase, I would not have been able to get on my own if it weren't for the Patreon members. Thank you. Sincerely. Of course, you can find a link to my Patreon down below in the description. And I do post all sorts of behind-the-scenes content there, including some of the acquisition problems with these. So, oh, there's an intrusion switch. I'm sure not having a side panel is great for that. You can also find my P.O. box in the description below if you want to send things in to help us out with the channel. For the first time in a long time, I think I'm good on SSDs. Oh, I need DDR4, but oh my god, it's so expensive these days. I don't even want to ask. And finally, thank you for watching. Have a good one.